Worry is energy, and energy can be redirected. Creativity helps us alchemize that energy, turning it into color, into movement, into sound, into words, into something real. And that act of creation doesn't just help us feel better, it helps us get stronger. You're proving to yourself that you can experience and hold hard things in your life, and you can still move forward. That, my friend, that's resilience. Hello, my creative friend. Welcome to the BDI Create Today podcast. This is a podcast where we'll discover the who, what, where, when, why, and how you can be creative or have more creativity. And together, we'll explore the extraordinary impact creativity can have in your life, in your heart, mind, body, and soul. And if we haven't met yet, I am Beth Buffington, a licensed artist, digital illustration instructor, and a creative coach living just outside of the windy city of Chicago, Illinois. But mostly, I am someone who is curious about how creativity can weave its way into our lives. Now, each week, we're going to look at one or more of the sparkly facets that make up the ever-changing kaleidoscope that is creativity. Welcome back to Create Today with Beth Buffington. Now, last week, we discussed what to do when you're feeling creatively stuck, especially when your worries or your anxiety are the cause of your creative block. Today, we're going to focus our time together to talk about how to build some creative muscle that will help you stay strong and stay more resilient so you can keep creating when life feels hard. Now, this episode will provide actionable steps that will help you build strength and create resilience in your life. You know, creativity isn't going to keep the bad parts of life from happening, but you're going to understand how creativity will help you cope, help you shield yourself better, and will help you become resilient when the storms of life cover up the warmth of a good day. And let's be honest, when we let it, the volume of life can be overwhelming. Today, we have uncertainty in the news. We are enduring political bipolar bullying. We are enduring world tension that feels like it is always at a tipping point. And often, on top of all of this, we have our own personal stuff that we are quietly carrying as well. Whether it's worries about someone we love, the ache of loss and grief, or just the weight of exhaustion that we feel with the responsibilities that we are accountable for each day. Many of us today, right now, are walking around with some weary hearts and some tired spirits. And you might think, I'm not happy. I have no energy to enjoy. So, how can I create today? But here's what I want you to know today. Creativity is not just for lighthearted moments. It's a tool that you can use to build strength, encourage healing, and create resilience that will help you bounce back faster when life packs a punch. In fact, creativity is an important life supporting practice that we can lean upon when the world feels like it's just too much. Now, according to the American Psychological Association, nearly half of all Americans turn to creative activities to help them manage stress and grief and anxiety. And with good reason. When we take time for creativity, we engage both our emotional and our cognitive selves. It's a way to let our brains process in the background what feels too big to express in words. And at the same time, creativity gives our bodies a moment of respite and time to breathe. So when we are gardening, painting, singing, playing an instrument, cooking, journaling, sewing, quilting, woodworking. You can fill in your creative pastime here. Your creativity bridges emotion with action. You see, creativity allows us to express, to witness, to transform pain, anxiety, grief into something that is more meaningful, something more understandable. Even a creative moment like doodling in the margins of a notebook or jotting down a few lines in a journal, well, that can begin a shift towards processing in a healthy way all the stresses of life. A Psychology Today reflection observes creativity bridges intellect and emotion, making the invisible visible and brings hope to despair. That's powerful. And that's what we're really talking about today. Now, before we go further, let's take a moment to hear from our sponsor, and that would be me. I want to tell you about the Create Today membership. This is my supportive, creative community. It's a passion of mine, and it's designed to help you keep showing up for yourself and for your creative dreams and goals. Inside the membership, you'll find workshops, guided challenges, creative resources, and a vibrant community of people just like you, people who want to grow and shape their creative dreams into attainable goals. And that is exactly what the members are enjoying right now. You're going to meet inspiring guest speakers. You'll take part in seasonal workshops, and you'll experience real transformation because creativity, it's not just about making something pretty. It's about finding your creative voice and understanding how to share this voice with the world that needs what you create. Whether you're reaching for the stars with something you've started or you're rekindling a passion, the Create Today membership is here to lift you up and help you build your creative strengths from the inside out. And you can learn more about how to join by going to www.bdi-create.today and touch on the menu up at the top, scroll down to membership, and join today. I can't wait to create today with you tomorrow. Now, let's talk a moment about worry. We all know it, and it can keep us up at night, and it hijacks our focus during the day. Now, I have a confession to make. I am a certified worry expert. It started when I was little. I could worry about just about anything. I would worry that something was going to happen to my parents anytime they left the house in a car. I don't know what I have about cars, but it's a thing. Even as a little girl, I often had a hard time sleeping until I knew everyone was home at night. And then when I was first married, Tom and I both had commutes in the Chicagoland traffic, and cell phones or just plain science fiction at that time. And anytime Tom was slightly late from coming home from work, I would go into full panic mode. I remember Tom telling me one evening when he came home 15 or 20 minutes later than I expected, he said, "Hey, relax, babe. Occasionally I'm slowed down by traffic, or I might decide to run an errand on the way home. I'll be home when I get home." Tom is the chillest person I know. And, he's also someone who has always had this innate talent of having a creative pastime that he allowed himself to do every day. I have learned a lot from Tom. Back then, I didn't realize that curling up on the couch with my sketch pad, just doodling, whatever, would be a solace for my overactive brain. Instead, I would fall into a huge spiral of worry. And I would think, who can draw when you're panicked about safety? So I would become one large, gigantic, whirling, spinning cyclone of worry until Tom came home. I didn't know at that time that creativity could be a coping mechanism for me. So here's a helpful takeaway: worry is energy. I'm going to say that again. Worry is energy, and energy can be redirected. Creativity helps us alchemize that energy, turning it into color, into movement, into sound, into words, into something real, something helpful. And that act of creation doesn't just help us feel better, it helps us get stronger. It helps us cope. Think about it. Every time you take your feelings and you turn them into a sketch, a story, or even just choosing a color palette that might describe your mood, or going out into your garden and digging a hole for a new plant, you're building your own emotional literacy through that creative act. You're proving to yourself that you can experience and hold hard things in your life and you can still move forward. That, my friend, that's resilience. Now, let's discuss how to build strength through just simple things, really simple things. I've spoken with many creatives who have told me, Beth, when I am in a difficult season, sometimes the idea of creating, it feels like too much. Just like newlywed Beth living in the big city of Chicago, worrying about her husband being late from work. And if you're nodding your head thinking, yeah, I feel like that too. Here's a solution. Here's the secret. Start small. And I mean small. Tiny acts of creativity still count. A 3-minute doodle, a 1-paragraph journal entry, creating a Pinterest pinboard of things that just make you happy when you see them, singing to your dog, dancing to your favorite song. And this can be a sad or an uplifting song. Dance to whatever is calling to you right now. Or buy yourself flowers to arrange in, that pretty vase that you never use. This is a beautiful act to give to yourself. I buy a bouquet of flowers from Trader Joe's and they last nearly 2 weeks. I love arranging the flowers and I love looking at them each day. They are a micro creative gift to myself. And you can also find a quiet, creative moment by having coffee in a mug that you only reserve for when you're having that special entertaining occasion. I personally find dishes really creative. And my friend, what I've discovered is life is short. So get out the good dishes and feel special today. How many of you have a grandma who had dishes that were always in her dish cabinet and you never remember them ever getting used? Dishes are fun to use. Use them and feel creative while you do it. Now, doing any of these small micro bursts of creative fun, when you do them, allow yourself a moment to process, to think, to reflect. Because even these small micro moments of creativity, they allow you to take the energy that you had given to worry and stress and anxiety, grief and doubt, and then you can redirect, rechannel this energy into a creative action, even if it's a small microburst. And over time, the magic happens when you do this consistently, because this is what will build the strength and resilience that you are craving. You will begin to build this strength by realizing that you can redirect this downward spiraling focus of worry and instead use this energy, because it takes a lot to worry, a lot of energy. You can use this energy you were wasting on things that were out of your control and you can move them to things you can control. And while you're being creative, this gives your brain time to look and reflect on your worries in a more sensible way, and it will be able to process and deal with them more reasonably. Or you may even realize that the worries you have will probably not become reality, or that they aren't going to be as bad as what you've been worrying about. And if you're thinking, Beth, I'm not creative, so I don't think creativity is going to be that helpful for me. There's a quote I love that I want to share with you. You don't have to create a masterpiece. You just have to start. You see, the simple act of starting, of showing up for yourself in that tiny way, builds creative and emotional muscle. Now, let's take another quick break to hear a word from our sponsor, and that's still me. If you're looking for a gentle way to return to creativity or start something creative when life feels overwhelming, let me invite you to my Doodle Meditation Workshop. This is a self-paced, welcoming workshop designed to help you establish a 15-minute daily creative practice that you can do while you're having your morning coffee or your morning tea. And it is super simple just by doing some mindful doodling. You don't need to be an artist. You just need a pen or a pencil and a few minutes. It's relaxing, it's expressive, and it's a proven way to calm your nervous system and reconnect with your inner world. Many of our participants have shared how this practice helped them move through grief or stress or burnout, or to reach goals with more clarity and more peace. Now, this workshop, my friend, it is only $29, and it comes with a meditation guide. So register today at www.bdi-create.today. Click on menu that's up at the upper right-hand corner and choose events. Give yourself the gift of doodling to find peace, because you deserve it. We've talked about the science behind how you can channel your worry energy into creative energy that will then in turn help build strength and resilience through a consistent practice of allowing yourself to create, right? So you might be thinking, well, that's great, Beth, but remember, I am not feeling creative. The world has me doing that downward spiral. So how can I redirect my energy to create a healthier and happier me? Well, my friend, you know I love a good list. Here's a list of 6 creative explorations that will build resilience. Now, these are simple, easy ways to introduce creativity into your life without having to feel inspired, without feeling like you need a lot of artistic talent, and without having to dedicate hours towards a creative pastime. Number 1, start a daily doodle journal. Just take 5 to 15 minutes to doodle whatever comes to mind: shapes, faces, lines, or symbols. Doodling, my friend, is a worldwide innate skill that everyone possesses. It's not about art. It's about release and reflection. You can add a few words or a mood title if you'd like, but just let your imagination wander and don't work to create perfection. Just create. And if you need a boost to get this fun creative act started, like I've mentioned before, just sign up for my Doodle Meditation Workshop. This is a grand way to start a consistent and easy creative habit that will be incredibly beneficial to lean on those days when the world is just dealing out a bad hand. Number 2, make a strength playlist. This is so old school, so 90s boombox, but I want you to just go find a playlist of songs that empower you and uplift you. And then when you're feeling that overwhelm, get out your playlist and pump up the volume until you just can't help but dance with abandon. Allow yourself to wade into the emotions that you're feeling and ride into the elation that the music is going to provide you. Number 3, visualize an emotion. So this one's super fun and a little bit abstract, but totally cool and easy to do. So I want you to pick a difficult emotion, one that's weighing you down right now. Is it worry? Is it grief? Is it confusion? Name it. Give it a name. And then ask yourself, if this feeling, if this emotion had a shape, a color, or a texture, what would it look like? And then I want you to paint it or sketch it, or maybe make a color palette to describe it, or find music that matches it, or journal your thoughts about it. However, you choose to express this emotion, create without judgment, and let the act of expression be your release. Number 4, create a pocket poem. So I want you to write a short poem or mantra that reflects the resilience that you seek, and keep it in your wallet or tape it to a mirror or a place where you'll be able to see it and reflect upon it as you walk by. And then every now and again, I want you to rewrite it, maybe on some different paper with a different pen or a different color, because occasionally you're just going to need to renew the strength that that message is giving you, because it doesn't take long before you just see stuff and you forget to really look at it. And if writing isn't your wheelhouse, go to Pinterest and search for quotes that touch your heart. And then write down that sentiment and keep it in places where your brain will touch upon it so that you can reflect and process those emotions. Number 5, sculpt with your hands using clay or dough. Some of this is easy to make and all of it is easy to purchase. Or consider using your children's Play-Doh, but get something malleable. Malleable? Something that you can squish. Every now and again, words, they're hard. Sculpt something symbolic like a heart, a flame, or your spirit animal, something that represents the emotion that you're having right now, or the strength that you are wanting to build. And then let your hands guide your process, because your hands won't need words. And again, my friend, no judgment about perfection. If you're the only one that knows you've sculpted a fox, that's okay. This is not for anyone else. This is just for you. So no judgment. Number 6, make a worry box. Decorate a small box or a container. And each time a worry creeps in, I want you to write it down and then place the worry inside the box. This is going to give your mind permission to set the worry aside. And you're doing this creatively. And then every few weeks, I want you to take a peek inside the box and review. Many times you're going to realize that a worry you had, well, it never really happened. Or it did happen, but it wasn't as devastating as you had imagined. I don't know about you, but my imagination, it runs wild and it typically over imagines. I used to do this worry box with my girls when they were growing up because I understood worry and I understood how it could keep you from sleeping. So if they had a worry that was keeping them up at night, we would write their worry on a slip of paper and we would put it into a pretty container that I kept on a shelf. We would pretend that the worry was completely given over to the paper, relieving my daughter of their worry for that night so she could sleep. And then after whatever was causing their worry or fear, like a test they were really nervous about. I remember one time it was babysitting for the first time. I mean, that's always kind of scary. Sometimes it was problems with friends, etc. After whatever that event was over, we would pull the worry out of the box to see if things were as bad as they had imagined. And you know what? It almost never was as bad as they had imagined. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. Your creativity is not frivolous, it's foundational. It's not just self expression, it's self restoration. It's how you remind yourself of who you are when life feels heavy or uncertain. And you, my friend, are stronger than you think. You might just have your incredible energy directed at things that are not helping you navigate joyfully through life. Discovering how to redirect your energy, as we've discussed, can start with little microbursts of creativity, like fresh flowers, dancing, singing with your dog. And you can easily start a consistent habit by employing one or more of the 6 ways that we listed that you can build creative resilience. And the best part, you don't need to wait until you feel better or feel stronger or even have more time to get this started. And you don't need to have clever artistic skills to reap these creative benefits. You just need to know that you need to start. So take a breath, get out that sketch pad, find some clay, turn up the music. Let your heart speak through your expression with color or shape or sound. Because every time you choose to create during the dark moments when life sends a storm, every time you choose to create, you build a deeper, stronger, more rooted version of yourself. And I think more of the people throughout the world need to know about these microbursts of creativity. Imagine our world if more people would just let their creativity be part of their daily life. Thank you so much for joining me today for Create Today with Beth Buffington. If this episode resonated with you, I would love for you to leave a review or share it with a friend who needs to hear this creative message. And remember, you're not alone. Your strength, your energy, it isn't gone. It just might need some redirection. So put your energy into painting, gardening, sewing, dancing, writing, drawing, cooking, wood carving. No matter where you choose to direct your energy, my one wish for you, as always, is stay creative, my friend.